Every year, student athletes in Florida and across the country have to fill out a physical form like this so that they can practice and play. The questions look like this. Have you ever had surgery? Do you have asthma? Do you get tired easily while working out? But there are 5 questions that are raising concerns for parents of athletes who get periods, and they're right down here at the bottom of the form. When was your first menstrual period? How many weeks do you go between periods? When was your last one? Those are 3 of the 5. Pediatricians ask these questions to athletes because irregular periods can be a sign of a couple of different conditions that can hurt an athlete. But in Florida, all of this medical information is then turned over to the athlete's schools, and in some districts, like in Palm Beach County, it's held online. These questions have been on the form for 20 years, but in the wake of the overturning of Roe v. Wade by the Supreme Court, some doctors, parents, and athletes are really questioning where this information goes and where it can end up.
Lots of changes going on here, but there's some level of normalcy, I guess, when it comes to Florida. They're looking to find the menstrual cycles, or at least report the menstrual cycles of athletes, children, many times, just to keep track. But now it's going digital. Here's where some of those problems happen. It's not brand new down there, but also it's angered some parents to be like, well, why are you looking for my child's menstrual cycle and you need to find out more about her and then put it digitally online or whatever kind of storage situation that you have? Looks like you could be tracking. Again, as the woman in that piece said, in the post-Roe era. Here's some of those parents that are upset at one of these school board meetings.
We're all past the agenda. So we're going to have to see what the superintendent can come back with. It's not a question that he should be able to answer on the fly. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not going to re-vote on this evening. The superintendent has to have time to make a decision. Please stop talking. Please stop talking. If you don't want to fill out the form tomorrow, then work with the school principal and see what can be done. Stop talking, ladies and gentlemen. We are moving on.
We don't want to hear from parents. We don't want to hear from parents that actually look to protect their kids. We're looking to hear from parents that are talking about CRT and teachers grooming our kindergartners with books. Okay, more, because before they're allowed to take the field, female student athletes in Florida, where this is happening, are asked about their menstrual history. And as that data increasingly moves to digital platforms, parents and doctors are very upset about this. They're asking questions such as when the student got their first period and when they had their last one. It's not anything new in Florida, as I pointed out, but it's an ongoing question it's been an ongoing question for 2 decades, but it was optional. All these things are beginning to change. Historically, it's always been done on paper forms. This fall, as they get this going, some districts, including, as I mentioned, Palm Beach, Broward, Hillsborough, and Sarasota counties will switch to this digital platform, and who knows who's accessing that. So it's pretty obvious this is part of the problem. It could stretch from tracking girls and their menstrual cycles to be like, that doesn't match up. Did you get a procedure done? Did something happen with you? We need to look into this further because who knows who's accessing it. Also to the point of saying, we have an issue with some inconsistencies. Are you really a girl, as we like to say? And we're gonna talk about trans athletes and you're destroying our sport. This fear, the circling around this from these freedom-loving conservative folks continues to look a lot more like control, a dystopian future for us. And a big government that they like to say they don't want unless it's about their control. Then suddenly the government can be huge. Was.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like this should be an issue for a young person, their doctor, and perhaps their parents. I don't know why you should have to disclose any of this information to your school to play recreational sports. I just don't understand why this would be needed or pertinent information for anybody but this young person's personal physician, who, of course, that's who you consult with about your health, overall health, and anybody else. This is kind of ridiculous, honestly. As somebody who played youth sports.
Did you ever get into any fights? Did your coaches go sprinting across the field?
Nah, well, no. If anything, our coaches threatened to fight us.
That's the old school way. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. Builds us character.
Coaches be like, if anybody doesn't like what I just said, we can talk about it outside. That's happened more than a few times.
Maybe it's a good shift that they're not fighting the opposing coaches rather than us.